I wonder if I am, like autistic or ADHD by like how the world, sees it, whatever. And for what I think tends to be, normal or whatever. They tend to like things specifically on a autistic spectrum. In my research, okay, it's not really research, but in my little observations of me, noticing autistic patterns, I might be 100% wrong, and I'm not trying to be no offense at all to actual autistic people, but I just wonder sometimes if I'm that guy, because apparently I was called crazy for not watching sports all day. Anyways, and I getting, poom poom, Anyway, so, in my observations, people who tends to be on the autistic spectrum, they seem to like kind of like having an obsession, maybe even an unhealthy obsession with, certain vehicles, specifically trains, and maybe even roller coasters. And how convenient I have an obsession with trains and roller coasters. I just really like trains and roller coasters. Like I mean, I don't know how trains work or roller coasters. I'm just saying I know the simple stuff of how these machineries work, like the train manufacturer, about the kind of electricity, the rails and stuff like that. And I get like really excited whenever I see just a really fat, good-looking train. It could be an electric train, it could be a diesel one, a locomotive, or whatever. It's just, it really gets me going, makes me really happy or whatever. And apparently, autistic people seem to like trains, and conveniently, I do have that. And I actually met someone at Six Flags. I'm not going to say which Six Flags vlog it is, but I actually met someone at Six Flags, I believe back in 2022. I think I'm just now figuring out that the person I met is on an autistic spectrum, and he tends, obviously he's a coaster enthusiast, so he likes roller coasters, I would assume. I don't know how much stuff he know about roller coasters, but for what I'm concerned, he just happens to be on the autistic spectrum, and then liking roller coasters. Those, these little vehicles, The point is, the trains and roller coaster things, they're kind of connected if you really think of it. Because it's a row of cars. No, a series of cars put together, and they're traveling on the rail conveniently. How convenient. And then how convenient, I have an obsession with both of those. Both trains and roller coasters really gets my gears going, and really makes me so happy. Like one time in 2000, I think, was 2020? I think it was either 2019 or 2020. I think it was 2020. I was passing by the Cermak McCormick Place train station in Chicago, CTA Green Line. And then I literally was drooling by the mouth a little. Now there is a name for that, called foamers. I would say I'm not really a foamer. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like I said, that's that big excitement I get with trains. People who be liking trains kind of are disrespected by society. They always think people think something's mentally wrong with us, So now I'm questioning in my head, is there something wrong with me? And And then on top of it, especially that night in September, the night before Thanksgiving, I'm doing rail fanning. I'm rail fanning the front window of the red line. Obviously, I deleted that part of the video because I didn't want to remember. But I only kept partial of the video, but not, the whole entire. That lady over here, that train operator, the nastiest attitude ever. Over here, slamming her hand on the window. Stop that recording before you get arrested. I don't know if she was thinking, well, two things. She thought I was doing some terrorist type junk or whatever. She probably thought I was some weird kid or something like that, or probably some mental kid that needs to be in check. Like, why isn't he on his medicine, But don't get me wrong, I technically was somewhat in her personal space, and then it was nighttime, so I'll give it to her. I just wish her attitude could have been so much better. I did talk to her, telling her, hey, the CTA website says you can't record it. And then she explained her little side about it. She said do your research, but her attitude still wasn't bad, was horrible. But so anyways, that day I was thinking like, something wrong with me. Should I like trains? And I actually stopped having a bit of obsession with trains because I'm thinking that I can possibly get arrested or whatever, because she threatened to call the cops on me. And that's the thing, us rail fans, we're always seen as something wrong with us. And that's by literally everybody. Everybody's allowed to like cars. Everybody's allowed to like planes, helicopters, and all that stuff. But as soon as the train is like, oh, what's wrong with them? Like, what's wrong with them? Like, that's the thing. It's a negative connotation for people who like trains. So then, and people who tend to like trains tend to be on the autistic spectrum. So that's the thing that sucks, That sucks. So now I'm questioning in my head, even now, like, am I part mental? Do I have some small smidgen level of autism? Because it does run in my family. It does. Who knows? I could have been the one who got it in my family. I'm just saying. At least a smidgen of it, That car was not moving. I'm looking at it, now nobody can go because that one person wasn't paying attention. I bet it was a woman driver. Being up on their phone all day. I've been sitting. These Georgia drivers get on my nerves. Anyway, so I'm worrying about myself because one time at my Six Flags Great America Day 7, the one I went with my sister that day, I was on Joker explaining about the coasters and everything, and she said that lady in front of us was looking at me crazy because I know so much about the roller coaster. Some black lady, some nasty ass attitude black lady looking at me funny just because I knew stuff about the roller coaster. And I talk about how many coasters I've ridden and all that stuff. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with you, bitch? Looking at me funny just because I know shit about the coaster. She probably was thinking like, is this dude okay? Like mental or whatever. That's what I'm saying. It's a negative connotation with people who has obsessions with train-like vehicles. And roller coasters happen to be one of them. Now, another thing. People who tend to be on the mental spectrum or autistic spectrum, they tend to like things that are a bit childish, or at least not adult-like. And conveniently, that's me as well. Conveniently, I would like to ride a motorcycle, but I think I'm far from that. But I am on a bike, so there's that part. Anyway, so they tend to like, kind of childish things. For an example, it started with Thomas. There you go. And then eventually we watch other things on that channel, whatever. Apparently, I think I know a few people who tend to be on the mental spectrum tend to like stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, Super Monkey Ball. I'm bringing up the Super Monkey Ball because there's this guy on the internet. It's in his description, channel description. He has autism or whatever, and he likes Super Monkey. And I see how he was naming all of the stages of Super Monkey Ball. I mean, I like his channel because it's Super Monkey Ball, and he's showcasing a lot of runs of the the stages, and that's cool. But if he was to talk about Super Monkey Ball around to the public, they think like, what's wrong with you? Because every single time I talk about Sonic, and speaking of, I think there are people on the autistic spectrum who is in the Sonic community. They tend to get looked at funny as well. Because I sure get looked at funny for talking about Sonic trains and video games all day, like as if I'm mental. So I literally was called crazy by one of my modern parents just because I'm sitting here watching video games and Sonic and cartoons and trains all day, and not outside in the world socializing, drinking, slaying poom poom and all that junk. I was literally called crazy because I'm not doing what he was. Oh shoot, pronoun drop, but there's that. It don't matter. I'm pretty sure y'all can think of. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I do not know what else to say. And then another thing, I sometimes think I'm a bit ADHD too, because I often forget, like, if I lock doors and stuff like that, so I have to go back, even if I have to go back and check, because I am concerned that I probably did not, lock doors and stuff like that. And obviously I don't want, what the heck? Hey, is that a deer? That's a deer. That's a deer. Where's the deer? See, look, right there. You see it? There's 2 of them. What the? There's 3 of them. Hey, what's up, deers? Look at them. You probably won't see them. I hope they don't run in front of my bike. Hi, there they are. Look at them. They're trying to hide right now. Oh, look at them. They all the way up there. I look at them. That's cute. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm ADHD and stuff like that. I'm already a little OCD as well. But I'm not diagnosed with any of these. I just feel these things because the constant things I'm going through. Like, I'm constantly forgetting, so I gotta go check and everything because I'm so worried and everything. I gotta constantly repeat myself and everything. What's another thing? I got a skin picking disorder as well because I keep picking my skin. The reason I gotta pick off skins that don't work and it isn't healing correctly. In reality, that's just simply how the body works. It is healing correctly. It's just I'm not doing a good job at it. So yeah, I often feel like I'm mental, and the way how society look at me, and people like me who tend to not drink, not date, instead, but focus on being in the house, liking the Sonic and Mario and stuff like that, and trains and stuff like that. We're always looked down like something wrong with us. That's one thing I don't like about society. And then I like to box us with us having autistic or have something mentally wrong with us, which is not always true. So I do question if I am mental or not. So that's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.